We're almost done. Ghost, no, Dragon Quest 6. I hate this game. So, um, giving.mskcc.org, donate for cancer, help stop cancer funding. You should do that. Plug Zell, you got Zell Knits at Etsy. You make great stuff. You made my wife a Choco Cat hat for Christmas. It was awesome.
And I make Pokemons, and I make blankets, and all kinds of fun stuff.
I thank you for stepping in. I had prepared for somebody else to be here. I feel like I can ask you the same questions I asked them. So,
Right?
um, question the first. Did you actually think I would see this through?
Figured you were stubborn enough for it.
Mm.
You taught in school for many years out of spite, as I understand, for a while. So you don't strike me as the kind of guy who would just give up on something, even as pointless in the grand scheme of things as an LP on YouTube.
You know what? I'm gonna say that by virtue of grief processing, this is far more important than anything I did in my career as an educator, where I was paid. I'm pretty much gonna run through these questions and sub questions, and best case scenario, like when Max stepped in, we're gonna be done with questions, and actually no, we're gonna still be answering questions, and the video will be done. Man, it's rough. So hey, with that said, let's watch this terrible video, shall we?
Certainly.
All right, here we go.
I also apologize in advance for Tiny Cat is going to be yelling the entire way through. There she is.
Tuna's perched on a blanket. We got a nice blanket that's for us, the adults, the people. It's a king size. It's rather thick, and he's decided it's his, so he just kind of floofs south on it, and it's just. I've cleaned it several times. He just keeps refluffing it, So
Yep.
it's the cat's. It's blanket for the cat. That's it. So the theme of this episode is side quests, and largely there's a big fashion show side quest in here for reasons. There is a mandatory item you need to get it.
There's the pun I was looking for. Looks who stats shade through the door.
So yeah, we're about to enter the fashion show segment, and I believe unedited it was. Let me phrase that. I believe unedited, but still with massive fast forwarding, it was about 45 minutes of gameplay. Now, I believe it's a tight 20 to 25. So with that wonderful thought of this game in your head, let me ask you a question. What is your concept of fashion?
Concept of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I for many years was an assistant manager in a craft store, and one of the requirements for me being an assistant manager at this craft store was that I was going to have to look professional and presentable towards the largely conservative customer base that this particular craft store has. And I hired a service to do that for me.
I can respect that. She's not here, or I'd have her share. But Midge, while in college, did work at a store in one of the local malls, and I believe she described her job as helping old women not dress like old women. Essentially. Not not dressed like, the central casting stereotype of old woman.
Like the one who just went down the catwalk, you're saying?
Yes, exactly. The apron and everything.
There we go.
Yeah, my personal concept of fashion has largely been framed by it wasn't VH1 because it was before that. It was some sort of ye olde days of rock video I saw as a child. But basically John Fogerty. Just denim and flannels. Maybe sometimes you got a handkerchief somewhere. It works. It's pretty timeless. I mean, that man's been dressing like that for what, 60 years? Sure, why not?
Yep.
And durable clothing too. That's been the big one because you can buy yourself a closet that's kind of like a cartoon character. There's the fast forward for me. I'm just running. They're
Yeah.
walking. Nope. Nope. That's the speed difference
I,
too.
I think contestant 4 was actually crawling for part of that,
Um,
which
it's a
okay.
zombie, so I would say lurching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lurching.
Uh,
But yes, cartoon character where you have 10 copies of the exact same shirt and pant outfit.
yeah. Shirt, pant, undershirt, underpant, and just really, wear them till they're threadbare. And thankfully, I had home economics class as a kid, so I could sew my clothes back together and get some extra time out of them.
There you go.
I'm also regretting keeping this drink a soft drink. Yeah, there's
I have moved into a new location and I finally have internet here, but one of the things that still needs to come over from the old place is the kitchen and the booze closet. So
ooh.
I got water.
I have my cherry Coke Zero over ice, and I also have a can of seltzer water that's not open for when I finish. I knew I'd finish that. I'm halfway through it, and we're 4 minutes into the video, let alone however long we've been talking. So that's great. That's the thing I found, right? Most of all with Dragon Quest VI is that however much drink I think I need, it's not enough. I can't even just put like a multiplicative property to it, like get 6 times what you need. It's never enough. It just kind of sucks it out of me.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, fashion's based off your style points. I don't think that stat really does anything in Dragon Quest VI. In 11, it's useful. It's your charm in that one that it makes enemies get distracted by you and gives you resistance to being charmed. But I think it does nothing in this one. So there are contests for everybody, for men, for women, and for monsters. Yes, fancy.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And the obligatory buddy girl introducing everything.
I mean, it is Dragon Quest, and
Yeah.
I mean, we basically have the Toriyama classics here of the host that's your typical announcer guy. Yeah, this is where I just started fast forwarding. Your typical announcer guy, and yeah, your money gal. Yeah, everything's fast forwarded now because I just couldn't take it. I did the first one legit.
Master Roshi's up now.
I believe there's 7 fashion shows we're gonna get to see.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's
Like
a
an
lot.
entire episode going on then.
Yeah, just about. Now I think this one, if not this one, the next one is the last that you have to do, because there is a plot MacGuffin you need to win, and the only way you can win it is by fashion.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what you want, right? Just plot locked items from side quests.
Yeah. Staple in all RPGs that need to pad out their runtime.
Yeah, they weren't as bad as they could have been, I guess, and that is really faint praise. So, um, there's a couple of spots you can find in the multiple worlds that the game has that are your fashion forges, and basically for certain items you can pay an obscene amount of money to just buff up the style score on them to give you an edge in these games.
Yeah.
um I believe only your sort of Lodo is the only thing that actually gets an attack or a defense boost doing it. The rest is just a straight up useless point. Yeah, so Trailblazing Bandana, that's not our MacGuffin. So we next one might be it. I also believe by the time you get here, most of these early prizes, shocker, useless.
Now, is this the kind of Dragon Quest where you save old items and forge them into new items later, or are they?
Nope, not yet. I think I don't think any of the re-releases incorporated that. I believe 8 is our first time where we get forging. So we're still a little bit of a ways off. We just carry around lots of trash.
Yee.
And I did, snip out of here too. There is the whole scene where you walk from the front gate through the crowd to the back
Mhm.
door, and then you have to get in line. And then if you don't hit the specific plot square, you're not actually in line, so you don't trigger the cutscene that then comes to them announcing what contest it is to draw all y'all out here.
Ah,
Yeah, for there's a lot to this. Yeah, why not? Well, us slaves to fashion. So hey, when did you first start getting involved in your crafting?
my mom taught me how to crochet when I was like 9,
Huh.
and then I decided kind of randomly that I wanted to learn how to knit, and I had already moved to Arizona to fail at going to college, and I was
I've dropped
back.
out of like 5 colleges, man. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I escaped with no student debt, so I'm
Hey, me
counting
too.
myself lucky there. But had come back to Texas for a visit, was hanging out with some friends of the man who would eventually be my husband for a while, and one of them decided he wanted to run a D&D game. And I absolutely cannot stand that man or his DMing style, so I taught myself to knit out of spite because
Can't play
I
knitting.
like because his method of character creation is okay. You decide your regular, your class, your race, your
Mhm.
background, all of that, and then you roll the dice for your stats. But no matter what,
Yeah.
your first roll is your strength, and your second roll is your dex, and your third roll is your con, and on down the line. So if you, for example, like me, decided that you wanted to be a class that required a lot of dexterity, and then rolled a 6 for it,
As
you were
is
just kind of SOL and
yeah,
a shitty ranger.
yeah. That's quite likely, what with probability being what it is. And like I'm pretty sure in later ones it was explicitly there. And I'm no D&D sage here, mind you, but I'm pretty sure it's always been implicitly, house rules as you need. The goal is to have fun.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Not
Monopoly.
this
There's
particular gentleman.
yeah, there's
This
there's
particular gentleman was very much, no, I am the DM and I decide who lives or dies. And I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna go into your living room and knit myself a mitten that will never have a mate.
that like at least the Sega CD, advanced D&D games that I played as a kid and never did well with because those games are rough. I've seen some LPs of them where I learned how to exploit them to win, and hats off to whoever figured that out. But even them, they would let you kind of min max your stats, and you'd get your roll on everything, but then you could decrease from whatever the score was to the base, and then redistribute points. So like even as a dumb kid, I knew alternate ways to go about getting these character points. Um,
Yeah.
so what a dick. That's hey, it's the first ladies only contest.
Hey.
So
It's
we
nice
got
to see there's a whole, looks like a whole generation there, and then warrior gal, or a whole family, several generations, and then warrior gal.
yeah, we got to have the female fighter, a classic class, and then yeah, we got grandma, I guess daughter, mom, and Ashlyn rounding it out. And no, the music never changes in this. They do the same little twirl at every step, and then
You
thank.
think they have enough memory for multiple music tracks on there? How posh.
I mean, maybe they could have put in, I don't know, some sort of just random number generator to decide if maybe they just walk all the way straight to the end and hoof it back like we do, you know? And and normally, right, I'm a fan of, trying to goof around. I do not think a single time I tried to like talk to the host, talk to one. I just kept booking it all the way back to the end just to get it done. Like it was not fun doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the vague fun is the head of the contest just crap talking us after every round about being not stylish, but that's a bit of a reach. Hey, we won. Look at that.
365 points, a full year's worth.
Yes. Yeah, thankfully I had a bunch of mini medals, so because I raided the evidence locker, so a lot of that gear just gives you tons of style. I leveled up people to just the max, so there's the natural just style buffs. There's classes you can join that get you can do this naturally with minimal min-maxing, but I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's a thing you want to get into.
I think every RPG and JRPG has to have that one thing where it's like, okay, you have to do at least X number of rounds of this, but then they're put there for a specific type of person, and that specific type of person is not the majority of the overall audience for the game.
Well, in this one too. So, in one of the worlds, you get a flying bed to get around, and the ultimate goal in this one is we get a beat up rug. Now, maybe some.
Is the other one piloted by Angela Lansbury?
No, sadly, she's not in here. There is no murder for her to write.
No bed knobs and broomsticks.
No, not a one. Which is good because that thankfully means no Nazis, right? There was Nazis in that. I think.
Always good.
Yeah.
It's been so long ago, I don't remember.
You know, it's a film about England. I'm just assuming, the war was a plot point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get the beat up rug, and it's kind of a nod to 5, which was an excellent game with the flying carpet. So in the last episode, I mentioned, I don't know if I found. So did you play Earthbound?
I didn't.
Okay, so
Could never find it on a system, but I have watched a couple of LPs here and there of it.
all right, so in Earthbound, they have the hint guy who just tells you where to go because they don't quite have the, you're resuming the game. They give you the recap thing. So, hey, it could have been a while, right? But the hint guy, you pay him a minimal fee and he tells you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
So they kind of did that in this one, except they don't really make it clear that this person exists. It's, a fortune teller. And the one time I went to her just to, kind of see what the game would tell me to do while I was going through the guide, it just said, why don't you try going somewhere you've never been? Thanks. That could be many places.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned before, I've tried playing Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Prairie King, or whichever one, and I did put it down for a while, and then picked it back up, had no idea where I was supposed to go, what I was supposed to be doing, and the party members that I was with, everywhere I'd go, they'd be like, hey, shouldn't we be doing something right now? And I'm like, yeah, you want to tell me what that was?
Damned if I know what it is.
I would love to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. Can you jog my memory?
Oh yeah, and again, Yakuza Like a Dragon, I can finally play that with the new computer. And it's wonderful when, I boot the game up and, it's been a few days and it tells me what I've been doing and what I need to go do. And then it even has a little icon on the map. Hey, head here, idiot. Great, love it.
Dragon 11 do that too?
Yes, 11 was very good. They had a nice little, image of one of the key characters from what was going on, and Grandpa reminds you of, what's just happened and where you gotta go.
Yeah.
And they're good with, map icons as well for, hey, head over here. I believe it's a monster contest.
Do we have a monster to enter into the monster contest?
Oh, yes, we have several monsters in our gang here,
Hey.
Oh, nope, not a monster one. Sorry. I said slimes and cheese slimes. It is a human. Ashland's back.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't quite have Gutrud the Destroyer in this one, but we have Guane the Slime Knight. He's all right. He's a decent enough guy.
Yeah.
The Slime Knights, if you don't remember, are the little armored knights that ride around on slimes, like those weird little bouncy ball deals they had as kids.
Yep.
Well, I'm out of soda. That's just great. But I got seltzer.
Hey.
Yeah. So I want to say there's 8 or 9 levels of this. I think this was 7. So I think it's as good a time as any. Do you have any memorable projects you've completed? Either, recently or all time?
Uh, crap.
Yeah, crafting. What you got?
Well, got several. In I have, with the assistance of my now ex-husband, built a craft table to
Ooh.
house my knitting machine on. And this thing's built mostly out of 2x4s, and it's heavy as fuck. And we had to haul it up or we had to haul it down three flights from my apartment, and then up 2 more to get it to where its final resting place is here in my craft room in the place we're in now. But pretty proud of that one. As far as yarn crafting goes, I have like an entire shelf of just fan art that I have made for people. They're artist friends that I like, or LPers, and they'll latch on to a particular character, and I'll be like, "Ooh, that requires a plush now," and so I let's see, some of the odder ones I've made.
It's like you're reading my mind. I was gonna ask, like, is there like the weirdest one you've done? Look at that.
So let's see. I was watching an LP of Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword, and one of the commentators there was attached to the little scorpion babies that are in the Lanayru Desert, and just how adorable they were. And he kept trying to convince the person who had actually played the game how adorable they were, and they were in arguments about it. And at one point, he says, "Okay, audience, make one of these so cute that their cuteness will not be able to be denied." And I'm like, I knocked it out in like 4 hours, and it was pretty awesome. And I still have that one.
Ah, hey, there's our guy, Gawain, on the right.
Aha!
Love it.
Yes, this is obviously a monster one, because all of those creatures look attackable to me.
Indeed. The 3 slimes are the 3 slime archetypes we have in our party, but only Gawain is our guy.
He is the most stylish of the slime archetypes.
He is. Okay. So, I don't want to say, what you hated, right? Like craft wise, because that's kind of a bad one. But how about this, right? Kind of like I don't hate this game, but I certainly don't love it, right? Like in that sort of like, you did it, you saw it through, but just man, it took a lot out of you. What sort of craft do you think you have you could fall into that category?
I mean, I get to a point on every project where I'm like, this isn't new and fun anymore, and I want to stop and do something else. And inevitably, this will happen when I have taken a commission, which is why I tend to not take commissions for anything that is large. But I do have several projects going at any given time that I kind of rotate through. When I get bored of one, I'll switch to another. One of my more ill-conceived project goals is I want a plush of every single Pokemon.
Are you limiting it?
Confusing in my own head because I don't even really play the games.
Yeah,
or watch any of the media about it. But it seems like an interesting challenge to me, so I'm going for it.
I was aware of Pocket Monster before it came out. I remember like Nintendo Power doing like the big feature thing about it, and I thought it was really interesting. And then I saw the games, and I was kind of like, not for me. And I did try and play. My brother had Blue. I did try and play that like a couple years after it came out, and it still didn't grab me. But like, yeah, there's a lot. Like even if it's just the first generation, there's a lot of them. Let alone if you're just going with all of them.
Yep, there are 151 in the first generation, the OG generation. There, the Kanto.
Oh, we're in the last contest. We can win the title of Sass Assassin.
Oh.
We get nothing for
That
winning
mean
the
we get to
title.
kill the guy who's responsible for all of this?
Nope. Nope. We just
He was Lord Sass or something, right?
no. We get no title. No,
Yeah.
just we get
Ah,
we get the realization that we could
maybe
have
wasted 45 minutes of your life on this.
time could have been spent better.
Yeah, so out of the original 151, I have successfully knit at half of them now.
All right.
75. I've got a couple others that were in the works when I started the move, so I put them down because I need honestly a large amount of resources available to complete them. So I just put it off to the side, got a more simple project to work on when I'm not actively moving things back and forth. But I'll pick up the Pokemons again, probably next month after everything's all settled over here.
I guess then by default, that's certainly the longest one you've had to complete. But like outside of those, like what's the longest you spent on a project you've had?
I mean, there are certain projects that I started years ago that I have not completed yet.
That you've completed.
I will occasionally dip into cross-stitching, and that I can handle maybe 2-3 hours of that before putting it down.
Midge started cross stitching again. She used to do that a lot as a kid. She got herself some kits, and one of them came with a child's needle, and I believe she snapped it twice before giving up and getting the needle from the other kit, which was an adult one.
Yeah, so probably a couple of months. I've made my mom some like sweaters. I made her a cardigan at one point that she absolutely adored for about 3 months before she left it at a restaurant and it went missing. She had that cardigan for less than the amount of time it took me to make it, so I was kind of pissed.
Oofa.
But that yarn had tried to be 3 other garments before it ended up being that cardigan. Because that's the thing about yarn crafting. If you don't like what the yarn has turned into, you can destroy it and start over. Reclaim all of your resources. There is no resource cost for that aside from time.
Yeah.
And if you've cut the yarn at any point. But I have absolutely gotten halfway through a project and go, yeah, no, this isn't working out, and then balled it up and then used the yarn for something else later.
We were told by Cherie the Queen, don't be an embarrassment to the Sass Assassin title. Don't blow it.
Yeah.
We got a happy hat for that 25 minutes of video and almost an hour of real time with fast forwarding work. It's not as good as the other games ones where it still restores magic while you walk. In the other games, I'm pretty sure it's 1 point per step. This one, I don't know what it is, but it is not that fast. So, yay. Great job.
What was the progress item that you had to get?
I got a beat up rug that we're going to give to somebody. So we're going to visit the requisite town where everybody is asleep for reasons. Once we wake everybody up, there is an old man that we can give our beat up rug to, and he will fix it and turn it back into the flying carpet.
We discussed that before, and I just did not make that connection.
Yeah, it's okay. We were distracted by the fashion. So, yeah
it's so glorious, so hot right now.
We raided the royal treasury before asking permission, and the guard noted that somebody stole everything before asking. This place is optional. We have no need to really come here. He gives us a quest to go and beat up a dude. We can just go beat up the dude. It's not even one of those deals where we have to trip a plot flag to, let the gate open. We can't just go straight here.
I mean, you gotta let the king flirt with you for a little bit.
I suppose.
Talk about your rippling muscles and your battle-hardened demeanor there.
Speaking of battles, we don't have any anymore, so I was struggling at one point to just turn off battles because I was just getting they really didn't figure out encounter rates until later games. Just really didn't get a handle on it. So I was just done with how ridiculous it was getting. And wouldn't you know it, just none of those codes I found worked. And then I shut down the emulator, I restored it from where I was at, and all of a sudden there was no more encounters. So fingers crossed it stays that way.
Hey,
I'm not going to complain, you know? It didn't
yeah,
completely break it. The mandatory ones show up, boss battles work, just no more randoms, and I'm fine with that.
excellent.
You know, I've done enough, I think.
Yeah, you are as battle hardened as you are comfortable being, and it's good.
Most of our parties, you know, at the maximum level, the others will get where they'll get through boss fights, and, you know, there's your vague level of challenge for this.
I do like the Earthbound tack, where if you are so over leveled compared to the enemies that you attack, it won't even show any of the animations. It's just like, yep, you won.
Yeah, that's one that really just needs to be in all of them. 11, it kind of does the Mother 3 spin on it, where you don't necessarily win if you get into battle with guys that you're overleveled for, but they will run away from you actively. So not as good as Earthbound. Earthbound, I think, really hit it, you know, perfectly, but I'll take them just leaving you alone as a close second. Because, yeah, certainly, you know, if you're n many levels above whatever the preset is for the area, yeah, you should be left alone. Makes perfect sense.
You got that demeanor. You got the scar across your eye. You got the club in one hand that you're smacking in the other hand, and everyone's just like, "Hey, we don't want any trouble here, yo."
Oh, do you like switch puzzles? Because we got some drain in the water switch puzzles here. That's the key feature. Yeah.
I think with King Poseidon being the overseer of this optional bit.
You didn't think there would be more water-based stuff than just it's underwater? Oh, no, I can't go across. If only there was another switch I could hit somewhere.
Yes.
Egads, our switch. So yeah, there's a whole lot of just you can't progress. Go find the switch. Step on the switch. Backtrack. Okay, now you can progress. And they are kind of sneaky with it at one point, which is coming up soon. But thankfully, they're not the worst about it. So I like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. It's a fun little jaunt with, you know, young Benjamin. But there's some puzzle areas where if you bork it up, you need to leave and re-enter, and that's a little bit annoying. So with this one, you didn't want to do this. Stepping on this switch is bad because now we flooded the room that has the treasure. So, oh no, the treasure's gone. It's not a MacGuffin that we need for plot stuff, but if you just keep going ahead, past the exit, there is the switch to enable you to get it. And you can double back and get the goodie, and I think it might be an armor or a weapon, but it's nothing game-breaking. But, you know, a nice little punishment. Okay, undo button for you. Actually, no, it is a plot item. Yet we needed this one, the sand urn. So they don't tell you that you need that. That's right. So the sand urn is what we're going to need to wake up the people in the frozen town. So you could flood that, keep going past, beat the boss, you get to that town, and then they'll tell you, you need the sand urn. I wonder where it is. And hopefully you remember that weird dungeon you were in where you flooded the chamber with a treasure chest, and, you know, go back and get it.
Adding!
Yeah. And also, you know, I talked over him, but we have Grakos, the enemy that did the classic, if you beat me, then you'll surely be able to do X, Y, and Z, but oh no, I said too much.
At least he didn't stand up and turn around.
Stand up, put his back to us, cook his head over his shoulder. I mean, he's a
I
fish.
never thought this day would come.
He's the fishman, and they kind of make it seem like he's got a mohawk. So they could have, if it was one of the later 3D ones, I think they would have gone with that. Yeah, we're largely just gonna swing away at this guy. It's you know, not so bad. He drops his cool trident when we beat him. By this point, though, it's really not as good as what we have. So I throw it in the bag. Oh well.
You've already done the fashion stuff, so you don't need the style points.
Well, you see, it's considered an ugly weapon, actually, so we have to go to the Fashion Forge and pay money to get the ugliness taken off so that it'll give us a fashion bonus. Yeah.
That is very clearly a crescent moon on the end of a stick. How much cooler do you need it to be?
Because it smells like the enemy, so it's not fashionable.
I mean...
Iron is also not fashionable. You gotta pay to have, you know, the iron fashioned up a bit.
Now, okay, one of the guys that I dated way back when did welding and like forging and stuff, and he made some pretty cool shit.
I would agree. You can make some very cool stuff, you know, welding and forging.
Wrought iron fences can be gorgeous.
Yeah, I have and have purchased for my groomsmen a number of railroad tie spike knives. You know, those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
like the
iron worked
fireplace pokers shovel set with all decorative there. I do not agree with this. 0 out of 10, worst game.
Yeah, I mean, just don't bring it to a fashion show, I guess, or don't bring it to this fashion show. Let's see. Ooh, okay, here's one. How do you feel about clothes for pets?
Clothes for pets. I don't believe that I have ever inflicted... I've inflicted hats on my cats before. But I will say that they can serve a needed medical purpose. One of the very talented author ladies I follow on Twitter has several Maine Coon cats, one of whom has an anxiety disorder that makes it to where he overgrooms.
Oh no!
And then gets his intestines impacted. So every couple of months she has to get him shaved, and he has to wear shirts in order to keep himself from overgrooming. So, I am not 100% opposed to clothes on animals, but I mean, it depends on the animal. It depends on the situation.
I have not. Actually, okay, I can't say I haven't put hats on cats because now I'm thinking of a time that I did. But my guinea pigs, I regularly put hats on them when I had them. I had a wizard hat and I had reindeer antlers.
Nice.
And they were pretty good then. Hat though, I did find this sparkly rainbow cowboy hat at a Halloween store. And Midge and I have some pictures where we put that on my sister's old cat that was a Tonkinese, which is like the smallest of the Burmese, Siamese, Tonkinese triumvirate.
Okay.
So tiny cat with the sparkly hat, you know, being the sheriff of pride.
Yeah.
Tuna, I do like to put tiny dog Halloween costumes on. I do have some photos of him as a hot dog. I got some of him as a Dracula.
Okay.
You know, I'm pretty into it. This is the magical town. We saved it. It showed back up. Hooray! Yeah, so the magic water. That's one of the 2 ways we can really reliably get magic back in this one. So in the previous ones, they had a special, you know, magic potion that fully healed your magic, and I think one that gave you a little bit more. They took it out of this one for who knows why. Why not? I guess. Yeah, just to make it harder. So yeah, it's this room's a time warp. We have to take the sand urn and scoop up the sand so that we can get rid of the time warp.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the time warp is just trapping everyone in nap time? Is that what that is?
Mr. Sandman, Sands of Time, one of those sorts of thingies, I guess, is what we're going with it, right?
Because time exists in the grains.
Yeah, something like that. So this is the great magical whatever. She's going to give us magical burst. So, magical burst is basically the win the game spell in 11.
Oh.
It's not quite as good in this one because we don't have a reliable way to fill up magic. So, yeah. Like in that one, there are items that's just all of your magic back. So you can queue it up to get that off, a couple of times in a round if you're crafty.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it once and then basically hope you don't need that person to do magic anymore in this one.
God.
Yeah, I use it a little bit and, it's still good, but it's not as good, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I was very excited because I thought that now the game would be even more trivialized, but what are you going to
Well, if you don't have any random battles anymore, then
do? Maybe I just want to stomp all over the bosses and show them just the cold indifference that I have for them at this point, and them keeping me from being done with this game. Don't tell nobody that the lady died. Don't do it. So now the old people are up.
maybe the Queen of England?
And she somehow told them telepathically who we are and that they should do us a solid. And cool. They remember Ashlyn. Okay. And hey, flying carpet. Oh, you have the thing. Let's fix it.
Hey.
And that's how you fix a busted up carpet. Abracazam. That's it.
Hooray.
So now you can do some more advanced weaving. What else do we got in this mess? Oh yes, we have to now deal with frozen people town number 2. They really pack it in.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think
If
it's.
you're gonna have a MacGuffin, you want to use it as often as possible.
I guess, but like we didn't really need the rug for this one. We're gonna need it for later stuff. But yeah, so we just came from a town where everybody was asleep, which is a thing we've seen since Dragon Quest III showing up. But now we're in a town where everybody is, frozen, and turned to stone is another one we've seen in others. So we're just kind of getting double whammied here on the references. Also, guess what? It's Slighty block time to try and talk to a person. I cut out several minutes of me sliding around like an idiot trying to get here. Yeah, I know. Why would you be able to just get to all there is this person to talk to? There's no treasure. There's nothing else in here. Just that person. That's it. And it's a puzzle to talk to the person.
And you better hope you get all the information you need from her the first time.
Oh, we're going back. Don't worry. We got, yeah. That's. Did you think we were just going there once? Why would we only go there once? That's silly.
Spring's eternal.
No, we're going right back. Yeah. So it's a puzzle slidey room. It's a fetch quest. It's just really I don't know. Did they maybe they just were kind of rushing to get it done at this point.
Huh.
I hope that's what happened. I hope they were just rushing to get it done and just were the first thing they could think of that they used to do. They did that rather than it was thought this was a good idea. But yeah, so
Heard as a snow maiden, not
yeah.
elf, but a snow maiden.
Yeah, Storm. Yeah, I was gonna say it was a magical elf in 5, but now it's a snow maiden. It's totally different.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's one thing Akira Toriyama doesn't do, it's reuse ideas.
Well, how much is him? How much is the staff? Who can say?
That's those.
So everybody's unfrozen, and the old man was, a much younger man when they all got frozen. So now he's got the existential horror of all of his friends and loved ones being so much younger than him. Oh, geez, it's been 50 years.
Hey, at least they're not dead. Like, that's the flip side of it, is no, you were the only one frozen, and now everyone you've ever known and loved is gone. Now you get to see them live out their fantastic lives without you.
Which was a plot in 5. Oh yeah, so the whole reason we did this, right? We got to get Lodo's sword, and there's a town of thieves, and if you go there early, they will throw you out because, of course, right? It's a town of thieves. Somebody's got to vouch for you. So we have to unthaw this town to find this guy so that we can get into the town.
But I mean, it's been 50 years. Why would they expect that guy is still around?
Because they just have one password. But don't worry, before we can do that, he's giving us clues about how we get into the room where the magical sword is.
The town of thieves has not changed its password in 50 years.
No, why would they do that?
Security.
A pretty good one, because clearly nobody's cracked the code. They know who their people are. Guess what? It's more Slighty ice puzzles.
Hey!
Yeah. All right, we got some questions.
So nice, we've made it ice twice.
Yeah. So I wasn't paying attention to what he told me, and I doubt you were either.
No.
Yeah. So you have to put in these phrases. So when I got here, I said, crud.
No.
Yeah, save states don't work, so I couldn't just do that and reload to get it right. So I then had to go to the guide and specifically find out what are the correct choices so that I could get through this. Because I had the feeling if I got any one of them wrong, it would make me exit and re-enter the dungeon rather than just talk to the door a second time.
Right.
And guess what? It's another Slighty block puzzle.
Hey!
This time the answer is not go straight. You gotta get creative.
Oh.
Yeah. This is not my first attempt. This is the successful attempt.
Aha.
Because I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't remember if there was any Oh yeah. So here's the classic one where you go over the ice and it starts to shatter, and if you touch it again, you fall through.
Yep.
So, file that away, because don't worry, there's another little Slighty ice, and, if you catch it, good. But then we're going to see some more block breakies. So we have to get all of these switches to trigger the door to open, but also leave yourself a path to get back through. Yeah. And I believe that sign down there gives us the clue that we should think about lightning to do it. And I guess I made an abstract lightning bolt, but I think that might be giving the game a little too much credit.
Yeah, that might have had multiple solutions, so...
Yeah, I'm going to say that that's probably true. Still haven't gotten into why the legendary hero is Ramius instead of, Lodo, but hey, maybe that'll get explained to me. Who can say? Terry. So, Terry's been kind of showing up.
Recognized him.
Yeah, interesting. Terry's been kind of showing up off and on for a while.
He's the hint guy, right?
No, he's not. He is a playable character in Dragon Quest Heroes series, and eventually we can get him for us. And I guess if you're playing it normally, he's a big value add once you get them. But we're over leveled. I'm gonna throw him in because why not? But Gawain can do all the work for a Terry really at this point.
In my world, a value add is double hung, double paned windows.
I mean, I do love a good double paned window, especially after living in more than enough places with just those horrible old single ones. Okay, so now because we have the pendant to let us in.
Hey!
And if you thought it would be just easy enough, right, that we get here and we get stuff done, you're wrong. We need to play hide and go seek with Mo. You see, Mo is gonna do some investigating to find out where the legendary blacksmith swordsmith is so that we can get that moldy old sword done up all pretty. But, he wants us to pay him 50,000 gold. Now, here's the deal. We have 50,000 gold. But the game is clearly not checking how much is in our inventory. So we have to play hide and go seek with Mo. Yeah. So we're just gonna jump cut to where he's hiding because no. No. So we have the priest, the nun, and the man. Who is Mo? Mo's the priest. A priest wouldn't call his flock goats. You get it? That's ridiculous. Alright, so Mo number 2. We got a room full of pretty bunny gals. Which bunny gal is going to be Mo?
Yes.
Oh, Mo, you silly, scruffy beard kissing man, you.
In some shows, they pay extra for that.
Ho ho. I do like the mirror gags the game does. Loses a staring contest to a mirror. Poor Ashlyn. As you would expect, flowers and leggings in the bunny gal's room.
Yep. Any dressing room, really.
So yeah, this one's the best yes, no tree to get to Mo. You need to do no, and yes, and then Mo shows up. But don't worry, that's not the end of it. So,
Of course.
no, he's going to tell us that we need to talk to the men that are at the bottom of the bar. And if you leave and don't talk to them, Mo is not going to be back at his house. So I had to trek my buns all the way back here to talk to the guys so I could go to Mo's dumb house, which is at the bottom of a well, because of course he lives at the bottom of a well, to get him to show up. And so now finally Mo's gonna tell us where the smith is. See,
Mo
now
is
it's
just lonely. He just likes having someone that'll seek him out and give him some attention, and he just needs a wider friend circle. That's all.
he's got a Mrs. Mo. She's creeping around just above the screen. I think he's just I don't know. He just needs attention. Well, we saw a fashion show. Craig died. We found a rusty sword.
Has also had enough of Dragon Quest VI.
Yeah, and yeah, I think Craig decided he's okay with DQ6. It still continues to seem like we're really not getting anywhere in the game, but I
Progress here.
kind of. I mean, but I'm where I'm at in the as yet to record video. It's the final, push. I'm gonna go to the land of the monsters. I'm gonna clobber some people and gonna wrap it up nice and tidy. But that's for the future. Today was just this, and next time is hunting down a swordsmith. Great.
Mo was just the practice round. The Smith. The Smith
It was,
was
it was
serious.
merely the warm up. Next time will be better. Next time. Goodbye, everybody.
All right.